Oh my goodness, so many Stargates. So that's 3 Stargates and a Fleet Beacon. So he is going mass carriers off of this. I mean, wow, this is kind of a timing thing. He's figuring that Flash is kind of stuck in his base right now, getting that 3rd base up. He's got a window here where Flash is still going to be macroing up and isn't going to be pushing out. But it's Flash, you know, he can push out regardless, even if he's expanding twice. He can still get enough troops put together to make a little bit of a push. But wow, so I'm curious to see how this goes here. What are they showing? They're showing this empty space. Oh, he comsatted the side. I think they're showing he may have comsatted that spot. And yeah, I think he sees the Stargates. And that's why I was saying that Flash, you know, he's so good at just comsatting around and seeing what's going on in the back of the base, checking for those tech switches. You know, it's a very crucial thing to do, to catch those kind of things if they happen. And Flash, you know, he's got 2 comsat centers. There's no risk of DTs or anything like that. He's got spider mines. Might as well check every once in a while. Flash always keeping on top of that. So I'm pretty sure. I'm not certain though. They'd have to show it one more time, but I'm pretty sure he saw the rightmost or the leftmost Stargate. I think he saw the edge of one of those Stargates. He comes at the location where, let's see. Oh, yep. Okay, yeah, you can see on his minimap. He knows all about it. He has that top right spot comsatted. He may have done a secondary comsat once he saw that first Stargate. So Flash knows these carriers are coming, and you can see he's already getting out some Goliaths. Wow. So Flash on top of that. Now that doesn't mean that Stork's gonna lose automatically, because the carriers are still, you know, they're much better if you can catch them off guard. With only, you know, vultures and tanks, which, by the way, can't attack air. So they're much better that way, obviously, but they're still carriers. You know, even if they have Goliath, they're still carriers. And if you can micro them properly and get the right unit composition, then it can be pretty deadly. You know, especially if you get Zealots and Dragoons underneath the carriers, it can be very powerful. You know, you can. They have to have tanks as well, because otherwise you can just march in with Dragoons and kill off all their Goliaths pretty easily. So, but if you can get some Zealots in there, sometimes if they're too Goliath heavy to counter the carriers, and you get some Zealots in the mix, the Zealots just get right up close to the Goliaths, and the Goliaths don't do nearly as well against the Zealots as vultures do. So, I mean, they're still okay, but only okay. Oh, Observer gets away. Anyway, so Flash kind of trying to push up the middle of the map here. He's kind of going towards the north part there. Very interesting map. It's so large here that Stork could theoretically go around the bottom and try and counterattack in there, because Flash is centering a lot of his forces towards the north here. He's trying to, I think, go for this top expansion and also just secure the left side of the map, basically, so he can keep macroing and that kind of thing. Now, the thing about fighting with carriers is that you want to fight... uh-oh, here he goes in for a little bit of an attack. Siege takes a little bit behind, aren't getting any hits in. Zealots are getting up very close, but they're just dealing with Goliaths and Vultures right now, so they're not doing as much damage. Should have engaged just with the Dragoons there, I believe. He loses a couple Zealots more than he needed to. Well, I guess the Dragoons were backing up those Zealots, so he got a couple kills off that way. But anyway, the carriers, 5 carriers coming out now, huge force of carriers. Now is going to join into this battle. Not a ton of Goliaths. If he can pick off some of those Goliaths with the Dragoons, only a couple Dragoons within range of those tanks. The tanks in the back, he's going to go in and try and engage those Goliaths. Not very many Goliaths left. The Dragoons have died, but they've taken out several of the Goliaths with them. And here come the Goliaths going to work on those interceptors. Now he's chasing the carriers themselves. Carriers are going to have to get out of town. Oh, loses a carrier. Very nice targeting by Flash there. I thought it was a little bit risky for Stork to be that close with those carriers. I apologize again, by the way, that this is a YouTube screen capture, so the video quality is not the best. Anyway, Stork going in here now with the Zealots chasing after those Goliaths. Some of the Zealots getting in near the tanks. Very nicely done, and there's no Vultures because of the Goliaths. There's no Vultures. Oh my gosh, Zealots getting in so close, tanks. The few more Goliaths coming in just to reinforce there. It looks like they might take out one more carrier. Yes, another carrier goes down. Stork needs to get those carriers out of the way. He's microing them back and forth. The thing about carriers versus Goliaths is it's better if the Terran is on the offensive. That may be why he's moved his forces out here, because you want to fight the carriers where you are, not where they are. You know, you don't want to have them pick the territory and be able to run away and all that kind of stuff. You want to force the carriers to engage your Goliaths, because then you have the advantage. The carriers then aren't going to be able to use their mobility as much. So Flash putting a little bit of pressure on Stork, forcing the carriers to engage there. Stork, however, with a good unit composition, running in there and just macroing up a lot of zealots at a perfect time there, able to take that battle. Now, Flash at the same time has taken the top middle expansion. Stork has taken the top middle expansion as well on the right. You know, Flash is still doing quite well. It looks like he has something in the top left. I don't know if that's another base. If it is, then that means Flash is on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bases, which would be redonkulous. But Stork is on 5 bases as well. I'm not sure if Flash has that top left base, though. Here comes Stork running in with these carriers, trying to be a little bit harassing. He's got plenty of income. He needs to watch out. One of those carriers is at yellow. 100 and some odd hit points left. He needs to be careful those Goliaths don't engage. Forced to fall back with that many Goliaths attacking his interceptors. He needs to kind of keep those carriers there, though. Unfortunately, he doesn't have quite enough of a ground army to engage Flash's ground army, and so those carriers need to stay somewhat nearby to protect that top expansion. Oh, a couple of cannons being planted down there. Vultures decide to just ditch. I love the random mines all over the place. Beautiful. Just taking out a few Dragoons. Why not, right? What is he doing? Okay, he's attacking his own gateway. I think he must have tried to A-move or something like that. That was weird. Anyway, Flash with a sizable army here. He's having to get lots and lots and lots and lots of Goliaths. Only a few tanks. You only need a few tanks to deal with, you know, Dragoons, though, which are pretty good against the Goliaths. But if there's a lot of Zealots in there, it's going to be a lot harder for him to deal with that. Although he's got enough Goliaths, actually, that it might be pretty easy for him to deal with it. But dealing with the Zealots and the carriers at the same time may be a problem. Here he comes in. He's going for a little bit of a flank. Flash is unsieged to attack Stork's expansion. Is Stork going to take advantage of this moment of unsieged? No. The tanks get sieged up. They're not quite sieged within range of that expansion, though. He still has an opportunity to try and take this back. Running with the carriers, trying to engage the Goliaths. The Goliaths are a little bit spread out. They have to be a little bit spread out, and some of them have to stay in the back to protect those tanks against it. And also, Flash, by getting himself into this small choke point, and here comes the Zealots and Dragoons in from the other side. There's not too many tanks to deal with this. Only a few tanks, and oh, Stork falls back with the carriers as the Zealots stream in. They're going to be able to engage those Goliaths. Reinforcements are streaming over that direction. I think Stork is going to be able to take out that back line, though. But look at this. In the meantime, a couple tanks have gotten up close, and oh man, Dragoons coming in to reinforce. Do not want to see those. Oh, and now, he can just pick off those tanks with his carriers, and the Dragoons and Zealots can hold the line against the Goliaths coming in to reinforce. Beautiful, beautiful back and forth with the tech switching, with the unit switching by Stork here. Now Stork with the advantage, going in for a little bit of a counterattack, drawing out those Goliaths with his carriers, and then going in with the Dragoons and the Zealots. A couple tanks in the background, only a couple, though, a third one coming in that could make the difference because that many Dragoons. The Goliaths forcing the carriers to fall back. They fall back to the cover of those Dragoons, but loses one in the process. I think he's at 7 or 8 carriers at this point. Looks like maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It looks like 7 to me. A very, very significant force of carriers, especially because he probably has +1 weapons right now, possibly +2. I'm sure he has +1 by now. He may have +2 on those carriers as well. Just a little ground force there. Anyway, Stork, I was mentioning before, Flash, he'd gone in there and he'd made a nice little, he's kind of bottled his forces in that little bottleneck. There's the Samsung Con coach, by the way. In that small bottleneck, which made it really good against those Dragoons and Zealots, but really bad against the carriers. So the carriers were able to pick off a lot of Goliaths. The Goliaths weren't able to focus their fire as much that way. Anyway, Stork now coming in here, attacking the main, drawing Flash in 2 different directions, trying to catch him off guard by attacking his back there. Flash has apparently spotted this, and he's kept some Goliaths back. But man, Templar out now. We saw some DTs attacking those tanks before. High Templar out now as well. Oh man, Stork is playing this beautifully. He is playing this so well. Flash now taking the opportunity. He knows that Stork's forces are all in the south. Flash now pushing up, trying to take this high ground again. We are going to have some High Templar in the mix in the next battle, though. And once those Goliaths group up to deal with the carriers, they are vulnerable to psionic storms, and so that could be beautiful to see that happen. Going with the carriers, draw the Goliaths in, storm them, and Stork could take the game that way. He's got a very small ground force to follow up, though, not a very significant ground force, less than 2 control groups of Dragoons and Zealots, it looks like. Here he comes in, trying to just prod this location, get some easy kills while he can before Flash is too much in position. What is this group of Goliaths doing out there? Oh, okay, they're going up to reinforce these 2 tanks that are